After quite a delay, I am back with Your Faith is Your Fortune. We're going to go over chapter 2. So I'll put the link for chapter 1 above, actually, and also below. And I'll link the podcast episode that I reviewed both of these chapters in a little less detail, right? So for these YouTube videos, I'm reading the full chapter, talking about my feelings around the chapter and also kind of what I felt Neville was trying to share. I am reading from Neville Goddard's Your Faith is Your Fortune, which is a phenomenal book. All of his books are phenomenal in my opinion. And then I also had another special announcement is that I keep getting emails asking about coaching services, which I'm going to be completely transparent. I've been extremely uncomfortable about. I sat on this for a couple weeks trying to decide why I was so uncomfortable. And I think the reason is because I don't personally believe in the power of like a manifestation coach. And I don't want to be viewed as a manifestation coach. I don't want to put myself out as a manifestation coach. But I do think that I have some tools that people can use to better their lives, better their habits, change their mindset, really focus on the way that you're living your life. And so I started to meditate and just put out an outline of what I think would help somebody if we were to do any type of coaching or reviewing session to see like how is a way that you could really change your life. If you're looking for a loving relationship, you want a better career, you're trying to become a more magnetic version of yourself. And so I put together this 4-week kind of program that would set up being able to work with somebody like one-on-one, depending on what they wanted to work with, but to expand your own knowledge, but it really leans into your knowledge, right? Like I'm not here to tell you to repeat these affirmations 12 times a day, 30 times a day, whatever. I'm here to say, okay, let's talk about the blocks that you're having. Let's identify them and let's start to work through them. And I put together a program that I think will help people with that. Because I do want to make sure that it is beneficial, I have opened up a couple slots to do like an introductory type of trial. I only have a couple slots available for this. They are going to be a 4-week program, 45-minute sessions each. It's 1 session per week, plus 1 kind of email review after. So like we'll have a session. I want you to go work on some stuff, email me back some information, and then I'll respond back to you, and then we'll have our next session. So it's kind of like working together. The in-person sessions are 45 minutes a piece. It's one-on-one. And for this introductory period where it is a trial, I'm not going to lie, like I want to know from you, I want to make sure that it's working and that you're getting benefit out of it. I will be kind of interviewing people to make sure that people are not looking to me to make a manifestation happen for you, because it really needs to come from you. And it's learning how to do this process on your own, how to feel better, how to focus better, how to place your attention. And so I'm doing these with these like limited spaces for $100 a person. So if it's something that you're interested in, I want to trial it. I want to see how it goes. I want your honest feedback. You can send me an email. I'll put the email down below if you're interested. It's unleashinghappiness@ceciliahendricks.com. So now we can jump into chapter 2 of Your Faith is Your Fortune. The chapter is called You Shall Decree. You will also decree a thing, and it will be established for you, and light will shine on your ways. Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall come to thee, and light shall shine in thy ways. Job 22:28. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing where I sent it. Isaiah 55:11. Man can decree a thing, and it will come to pass. Man has always decreed that which has appeared in his world. He is today decreeing that which is appearing in his world, and he shall continue to do so as long as man is conscious of being man. Nothing has ever appeared in man's world but what man has decreed that it should. This you may deny, but try as you will, you cannot disprove it, for this decreeing is based upon a changeless principle. Man does not command things to appear by his words, which are, more often than not, a confession of his doubts and fears. Decreeing is ever done in consciousness. Every man automatically expresses that which he is conscious of being, without effort or the use of words. At every moment of time, man is commanding himself to be and to possess that which he is conscious of being and possessing. This changeless principle of expression is dramatized in all the Bibles of the world. The writers of our sacred books were illuminated mystics, past masters in the art of psychology. In telling the story of the soul, they personified this impersonal principle in the form of a historical document, both to preserve it and to hide it from the eyes of the uninitiated. Today, those to whom this great treasure has been entrusted, namely the priesthoods of the world, have forgotten that the Bibles are psychological dramas representing the consciousness of man. In their blind forgetfulness, they now teach their followers to worship its characters as men and women who actually lived in time and space. When man sees the Bible as a great psychological drama, with all of its characters and actors as the personified qualities and attributes of his own consciousness, then and only then will the Bible reveal to him the light of its symbols. This impersonal principle of life, which made all things, is personified as God. This Lord God, creator of heaven and earth, is discovered to be man's awareness of being. If man were less bound by orthodox and more intuitively observant, he could not fail to notice in the reading of the Bibles that the awareness of being is revealed hundreds of times throughout this literature. To name a few, I am hath sent unto me. Be still and know that I am God. I am the Lord, and there is no other God. I am the Lord, and there is none else, and there is no God beside me. I am the Lord your God, and there is no other. I am the shepherd. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and I know my sheep, and am known of mine. I am the door. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way. I am the way and the truth and the life. No one cometh to the Father but through me. I am the beginning and the end. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. I am. Man's unconscious awareness of being is revealed as Lord and Creator in every conditioned state of being. If man were to give up his belief in a God apart from himself, recognize his awareness of being to be God, this awareness fashions itself into the likeness and image of its conception of itself, he would transform his world from a barren waste to a fertile field of his own liking. The day man does this, he will know that he and his Father are one, but his Father is greater than he. He will know that his consciousness of being is one with that which he is conscious of being, but that his unconditioned consciousness of being is greater than his conditioned state or his conception of himself. When man discovers his consciousness to be the impersonal power of expression, which power internally personifies itself in his conceptions of himself, he will assume and appropriate that state of consciousness which he desires to express. In so doing, he will become that state and expression. Ye shall decree a thing, and it shall come to pass, can now be told in this manner. You shall become conscious of being or possessing a thing, and you shall express or possess that which you are conscious of being. The law of consciousness is the only law of expression. I am the way. I am the resurrection. Consciousness is the way as well as the power which resurrects and expresses all that man will ever be conscious of being. Turn from the blindness of the uninitiated man who attempts to express and possess those qualities and things which he is not conscious of being and possessing, and be as the illuminated mystic who decrees on the basis of this changeless law. Consciously claim yourself to be that which you seek. Appropriate the consciousness of which you to see. And you will know the status of the true mystic as follows. I became conscious of being it. I am still conscious of being it, and I shall continue to be conscious of being it until that which I am conscious of being is perfectly expressed. Yes, I shall decree a thing, and it shall come to pass. So if you read or listened to the first chapter, he talks about how your I am is God. That is just being. There's nothing conditioned. And to condition something means to say, I am this thing, right? It's something that you believe true of yourself. It's a state that you've fallen into, whether you believe that you're loved, unloved, worthy, unworthy, desirable, undesirable, wealthy, unwealthy, connected, unconnected. It's everything. All of these beliefs that you have received, and those beliefs come from your experiences. We all have our own filter. Those are our perceptions. Now remember, this is my view of kind of how I've come to understand this stuff and to use it in my own life. So I hope that you find it beneficial, but anything that you kind of think either that I missed or you feel differently on, or you have more questions about, leave in the comments below. I would love to talk about it. I like to get into this stuff. I like to see what other people read, because what I've noticed is that through our perception, we each kind of pick up on different parts that kind of stick out to us as being important. And so for me, what's always important is to think about, this is my perception, and my perception of the world changes based on my state. This is something that we see even in like scientific research, that you can view yourself as a lucky or an unlucky person, and based on that view of how you see yourself, that will be reflective of the opportunities you see available to you. There was actually a study that was done, I talk about it quite a bit, but there was a study that was done that said they took people who self-proclaimed as lucky, and they took people who self-proclaimed as unlucky, and they gave them each a newspaper, and in the newspaper they were told, you need to count how many pictures there are in it. You get $100 if you find them, whatever. I don't remember what the thing was, but like you got an award for counting them and getting them all right. And the people who self-identified as unlucky took 4 times as long to find all the images. And the reason was because in bold print on the very first page told you how many pictures were actually available. Like the answer was already there for them, but the ones that identified themselves as unlucky couldn't even see it. Like it did not even pop out to them because their perception did not allow it. So when you're looking at the conditions that you've provided on yourself, it is all going to change the perceptions that you receive. If somebody makes a rude comment to me, it's my perception, the way that I filter that through my current state, my identity, of how I'm going to react to it. Somebody makes a comment about my appearance, I'm either going to internalize that and decide that it's truth, and I have to be upset because they've commented on my appearance and they don't think that I look nice, or they don't like my hair, or whatever it is. Or my perception can be, I'm really sorry that they're in a position that they feel like they have to comment on other people. And it's all based on your state, right? It's all the perceptions that you're driving in. And then when you're decreeing something, it is actually, the way that you decree it is through your feelings. That's why he says there's no effort. Because what I naturally just believe true of myself, there's no effort in that. I'm not repeating it to myself repeatedly. I'm not going over it every single day. I'm not worried that I'm not going to get proof that I am that thing. I want you to spend some time right now really thinking about something that you hold true of yourself. And if you listen to the last video, the kind of exercise that I gave was to list out the conditions you have of yourself. What do you actually believe true of yourself? So when you list those out and you start to take a look at, okay, this is what I actually believe true of myself. Today, I want you to go back through that list and start to question where that belief came from. This is the way that we're going to start busting down the blocks that you have, right? Because you can go back and say, where did I pick up this belief? Why do I have it? Is it something that happened in my childhood? Is it something that maybe has been said to me? Is it like, what perceptions, what filters have I picked up that make this true of myself? And it can be either things that you see positively that you want to keep, or things that you see that you would like to change about yourself. I want to kind of talk about, if you are looking, like, let's say at a specific person, and view yourself, and you have to be super honest, right? If you're not honest with yourself, you're not going to really get anywhere, unfortunately. And you've probably been on a hamster wheel for quite a while and not figuring out the ways that you can make the changes that you're looking for in your life. And you're only going to make those, no matter who you work with, who you talk to, if you truly start to be honest with yourself and the things that you're doing now. You cannot become a new person maintaining the habits, beliefs, and thoughts and where you dwell, the same state and identity that you have right now. It just doesn't work that way. Even if it's small changes, you're going to change. Right? This is exactly what Neville talks about. You can't put new wine into the old casings. It's what Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about. You have to break the habit of being yourself, because truly what you're going to do is say, I'm going to stop allowing these conditions in my life. But let's identify them. Let's work through them so that you can just start to decree something different about yourself. You can start to view yourself differently, and not through mindless affirmations. And I want to stop here for a second, because I actually believe that affirmations can work in time, right? When you repeat them over and over and over, eventually they work. But for most people, I'm going to say there's some that still definitely struggle. It kind of depends on the person. But I will also say, I have found in my experience and in speaking to others, it takes a lot longer. And during that time that you're doing all of these, what other life experiences could you be having that would be better than you just repeating phrases to yourself nonstop? We really want to start to lean into caring for ourselves, doing things for ourselves, changing our self-concept from the core. And when you do that, you start to actually decree something else. You're putting a different belief out. You're putting a different understanding and a different thought out. And Neville says this, let me get this back open, because he does say, man has always decreed that which has appeared in his world. He is today decreeing that which is appearing in his world, and he shall continue to do so as long as man is conscious of being man. That's the thing. Everything that's happening to you today is because you've decreed it in your world. It's your perception, it's your state, it's your identity. And when you're able to really break down where that came from and what you truly want to believe and what you don't want to believe, and the things that you would prefer to focus on, that's when you see true breakthrough. And I do want to talk on a quote that he has here, because I think it can be a little confusing. It was for me, and maybe it is for you. He will know that his consciousness of being is one with that which he is conscious of being, but that his unconditioned consciousness of being is greater than his conditioned state or his conception of himself. What this is saying is that you just being aware, the I am part, is greater than any condition, because that's the part you cannot lose. As long as you are here, you are aware of the I am. You can't lose that part. You can change the conditions. And if you are like, well, what if I can't change them? What if this is just the way my life is? I want you to start looking around your world for proof that things change. Think of your life 15, 10, 5 years ago. What things about then have changed to now, better or worse? How did those things change? They changed based on the fact that our consciousness and what we've conditioned can change. The things that we accept as true can change. The actual state, the I am, the consciousness of just being, has never left you. That's always there, and that's why it's greater. That is always there for you to condition to have the life that you want. It's always there for you to be able to make the choices of the way that you want to live, the things that you want to accept as true, the life experiences that you want to have. So I hope that this was helpful. We will definitely be doing the next chapter on Monday of this week. So actually tomorrow, I have a podcast episode that's launching that will be talking about the next couple of chapters. On the podcast episode, I'm only pulling out small bits, right? And then through the YouTube videos, I'm reading the full chapter and going a little bit more in. So hopefully this is beneficial. I love his books, but I think there's so much to dig into. And of course, I'm only doing like little bits and pieces because I want to teach you how to start conditioning your I am into a life that you want versus continuing to decree things knowingly or unknowingly that you don't want to continue in your life. So again, if you would like to talk to me about the coaching, remember I only have a couple of things. It's a couple slots. It's definitely a trial, right? So this is something we're going to learn and grow together because I want to make sure that anything that I put out is being really helpful to people. And anybody that I'm talking to on a one-on-one basis is really getting the steps in order to actually like make substantial changes in their life, and that you feel that it's a beneficial program. So it is definitely a trial 4 weeks, emails and calls, and it's $100 for these first couple of sessions that I'm going to do just to try to see how everything works. You can email me if you are interested. It's unleashinghappiness@ceciliahendricks.com, and I will definitely put the link for that down below. Thank you, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. And because I am actually recording and publishing this on Mother's Day, if you are a mother or have a mother, I would like to wish you a very happy Mother's Day, and I hope you have a beautiful day.